Hey there everyone, it's exciting times. There is now Payroll in Google Sheets. After 12 years of development of Payroll in Microsoft Excel, I was asked to put the payroll file into Google Sheets, and I spent the last few days doing that, and it is ready to go, and we're going to start doing videos one state at a time to show you how it works. If you're interested in subscribing and getting access to this and a copy of this so that you can use it for your small business, it is so dynamic. It can basically work with any business of any type. That's what I do. Is I've done this for really dozens and dozens and dozens of businesses over the years in all walks of life. And this thing works. It does amazing things. So it can change pay period frequency. You know, what do you need? Weekly, bi-weekly, semi-monthly, whatever. When are the paychecks? How many days after the pay period ends are the paychecks? How many pay periods are in the year? You answer those questions and this thing sets itself up basically automatically to run the payroll for whatever your situation is. So let's talk about New Jersey and Pennsylvania, because that's what this video is about and this version is about, and show you how you enter in information. So let's start with a New Jersey employee here up top. Let's assume that I'm in New Jersey. Did I fill out a current year W-4? Hopefully the answer is yes. If the answer is no and it's an old W-4, you have to put the number of allowances on the old W-4 in this cell over here. But you should get your employees to fill out new W-4s. It's 2022 already. I mean, the new W-4 setup started in 2020. It's 2022 now. You got to move on. So get them to fill out a current W-4. Are they married? Yes or no? What state are they in? You only have New Jersey and Pennsylvania to choose from. Now we start talking about New Jersey questions like New Jersey W-4 allowances and the filing status, the rate schedule. So what you need to do is you need to go to the New Jersey W-4, which is right here. It's your employee fills this out. It's gonna ask for their filing status, and it's gonna ask for their number of allowances here. There's some complexity to figuring out what rate they are if they're a filing status other than single. So they can use this rate schedule. I'm not going to go through it in depth because it's really boring, but if their wages are a certain amount, they're going to choose a letter. So for the employee that we're working with in the file, let's assume that they answered 2 under the number of allowances. That was question number 4. Okay. And then let's also say that because they're married, they could either be rate A if they were married filing separately, or let's call them rate B for being married and filing jointly. And that's what their new W-4 says. These are the questions after you move on from New Jersey. These are the questions about the actual federal W-4. What was their status on their federal W-4? Did they have an amount of dependent exemptions? Is $2,000 per exemption? So in general, so let's say they had 2, so let's give them $4,000 actually. It's more reasonable. And is box 2C checked? That's one of the questions they ask, along with other incomes and deductions that might be on the new W-4. But is box 2C checked has to do with, do they have more than one job or not? And it's yes if they work more than one job, or no if they don't. The default is set at no, but if they have the box checked, you need to change that to yes. Other stuff you can enter in this employee info sheet. Personal information that can go on the pay stub, or for records, addresses, emails, phone numbers. You can put in PTO balances, which I'll talk about in another video, or I have talked about in another video, hire dates, and there you go. You've entered in your stuff for your employee. The next employee I have is a Pennsylvania employee, and I just wanted to mention what you do for Pennsylvania real quick is you have to choose a local city or county. Now, I have, because it's complex in Google Sheets, how I've programmed this, compared to Excel, I don't have this conditionally relating to what state it is. So I'm going to start putting out these files one state at a time for most people. And when you have multiple states like this, understand you don't need to put a local city for New Jersey. These are actually Pennsylvania cities. So it only applies for Pennsylvania employees, but I haven't set up any errors to show you that you don't need to fill one out for New Jersey. So you pick a Pennsylvania city, and it's going to automatically change the percentage of whatever the local tax rate is automatically. So that's awesome. You don't need to fill out a filing status for Pennsylvania. It's NA down there, so don't worry about that. And then whatever their W-4 information is here. So that's how you enter in New Jersey and Pennsylvania employees. You can see when you switch this, it changes what the it should change. Well, yeah, what the questions are about what you're supposed to fill out here. It says Pennsylvania doesn't use either of these questions, but New Jersey does have a question about W-4 allowances. So that's how you can check to see what it's asking for which state. Then you also have unemployment. If you're sent an unemployment rate from the state, you would enter that in here. If it's New Jersey, if it's Pennsylvania, whatever it is, this is going to then help generate unemployment totals based on what your wages were for your employees. Up to this maximum, it'll charge you this rate. That's an employer expense that you have to pay when it's unemployment. So that's pretty much, there's some workers' comp information, but I won't get into that because that's complicated. So that's what you can do on your employee sheet, and basically your employee sheet is set up right now. All right, and it's looking pretty good. Now, daily entry sheet is the next one. Daily entry sheet, you can choose your employee and choose the day and put in how many hours they worked. If they worked overtime hours, you would put them there. If they work holiday hours or you pay them for holiday hours, you put it there. If they used some PTO, if this person didn't work this day but they used PTO instead, you would put it there. I have other things for specific projects. If you pay people by projects, you can put the projects here. You can say, if I'm a plumber and I'm like, all right, fixed pipes, and if we charge $350 for that, you can then make that a project for someone, and it will automatically put that compensation right there for project pay. But anyway, there's a lot of flexibility here in this daily entry sheet. You can also put time in, and if you put time in like this and like this, and how long the break was, 4:30 p.m. You got to put the p.m. in there, not a.m. It will do it right, and it will be like that was 7 hours worked. If they only had a 15-minute break, it was 7.25 hours worked. So there's ways you can do that to figure out hours if you want to keep time that way. So you start entering in all the information in the daily hours. As soon as you do that, you can then go over to the pay period record sheet. And the pay period record sheet has the information for each individual paycheck, and it also summed up all the hours from the other sheet. So you now have all your daily hours rolled into your pay period hours automatically. So if somebody has additional federal they want withheld from their check or something, or additional state withheld from their check, you put it there. These dark cells are all automatic. If they have a dark fill, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to override them. If you're paying them an hourly rate, you put it here. We're now going to browse all the other things that you can possibly add into someone's paycheck. Once you've got their hourly rate, it's multiplying it by the hours to come up with some compensation, but you can also add a bonus or salary. You can add garnishments if they have some money taken out of their check for child support or something like that. If they were reimbursed for something, fuel on a trip or something like that. Is there a check number for this pay stub? You could put the check number there. Do they have a 401k that they, is a percentage of their salary directed to a 401k? Does the employer match a certain amount? Does the employee deduct anything for health insurance? Does the employer pay anything for health insurance? Is there life insurance, AFLAC? Do they get dependent care benefits? All these things and anything else that you would need added, I can just add to this very, very easy to incorporate it into everything. So that's going to give you all the information for your paycheck. And then you're basically done. You go to your pay stub and you choose the name of the employee and you choose the pay period, and voila, you have paycheck. You've got a paycheck that just pops right up. It's got everything. It's got the amount. There's no federal withheld, I guess, on this person, probably because they have a lot of deductions. There they make more money in this pay period, and they get some federal withheld out of their check. Another thing you can do is, so you'll have your entire paycheck. You can delete stuff you don't use. If you never use garnishments or never use AFLAC or something, you can literally just delete this right off. No AFLAC, okay, no AFLAC, it's gone. And everything still works. It keeps track of your PTO hour balance for your employee. It also will convert the dollar amount into a pay stub looking thing. So if you line this up with your printer and a paycheck, if you have a one of those printer papers where you've got one pay stub and a bunch of blank space. You can reposition this and change when you go to print this thing, you can get it to line up correctly on a pay stub as it changes everything to words and puts everything on here automatically. So pay stubs are cool and they're working, right? There you go. Things are working. And then on top of the pay stubs, you've got your 941 report, which is a quarterly report that you need to file. That is a reconciliation of all your deposits throughout the quarter. You just choose the quarter here, and it's going to give you the breakdown and the answers to all the questions that you need to fill out the Form 941. It also shows you the breakdown of all the employees in different categories that matter, and how much 941 taxes do. You owe $4,590 here, and it shows it right there. You also have a state report for the quarter, so you choose your state and then choose your quarter, and you can get that, or you can do it by month, or you can do it by pay period. You just need to choose one, though. You can't choose more than one. If you try to say, quarter one and January doesn't work, you have to just choose one thing, whether you're looking at a quarterly report or a monthly report, or that's why it says "or" right here. And that the same thing applies for this as well. It's "or", so you can look at just one thing, but just understand you need to get rid of Q1 if you want to look at a month like that. So, so that's your reporting. Then you also have your W-2s. You just choose your employee number, and it's going to give you their W-2 totals for the year to fill out their W-2s on Business Services Online at the end of the year to start of 2022. So that is the breakdown of what's working in Google Sheets right now, and you're going to see a lot more videos and more states coming out of me very soon. And if you're interested in this, follow the links, ask me questions. It's the coolest payroll Excel program ever built, and now it's the coolest Google Sheets program ever built for payroll. And we'll just see. We'll make it better. We'll keep working on it, all right? So good luck, everybody. Payroll should be easy. Let's make it so.